Hello and welcome to Grumpy Pod. Your hosts, Vic and Jack, discuss life's little annoyances, which invariably include a review of what's making the headlines. If you're tired of being told to look on the bright side, if you roll your eyes at toxic positivity, and if you've ever wanted to scream into a pillow over the sound of someone chewing, this is the place for you. And here's the best part. We want you to join in. Got a complaint, a rant, a minor inconvenience that's driving you to the brink, or your own take on what's making the news? Send it our way. We'll read out the best ones, dissect them like a very bitter science experiment, and decide once and for all whether you're justified or just a tiny bit unhinged. You won't find any false positivity, no just be grateful speeches, just a good old-fashioned venting session with some laughs along the way. We might even learn something, but let's be honest, possibly not. A word of warning. If we accidentally offend someone, we don't really care. Wokeness, political correctness, can we even say grumpy anymore, or is that an outdated term? Let's find out together, shall we? Alright, let's get cracking.
How's things?
Yeah, good. Quiet week, but suitably good. As you know, interrupted with having a mouse loose in the house, or possibly a rat. We'll see.
You're not spotted it then, just noises?
I've not seen it, just noises, but I can't really be bothered to get in the loft and try and track it down. I'll wait for it to come out dead on a trap, which hopefully will be next week.
That'd be nice.
What about you? Any news that's caught your eye that you want to share?
Well, where should we start really? A few things. I've not been up to much during the week, as you know. Bit of time on my hands at the moment. So I went into town earlier. That was the normal place that we know and love. It started off whilst I was just waiting for my latte with some numpty. I thought it was fine for him to smoke his strawberry and cheese flavour vape, whatever he was smoking, and blow it everywhere. So that led to a little bit of a conversation in me asking him to stop and him wondering why. And so anyway, he left in the end, which is good. And then on a bizarre sight, there's always something happens while I sit in the window and drink my latte. A bloke stood outside and produced from his rucksack a box of 4 Solero ice creams and then proceeded to eat them all, which I thought was a bit odd, even for our town, really.
That is a bit random.
Yeah. And what was kind of capped it off with regards to, I just thought, well, there we are. Sums a few things up was walking down the bit between the shopping centre and the square, and the bloke that was walking away from a cash point with the bank card in hand, saying, "I haven't got a fucking clue how to use that," which I thought was again equally odd. I know we are kind of a cashless society. I'd actually understand it more if it was a younger person, probably who's he's cashless since they've got their first card, but this was a bloke who was about 35.
Yeah, and we've had cash machines for a while now.
Yes. I don't know whether I don't want to cast aspersions, but whether he didn't know how to use it, what he meant was, I haven't got the pin for this card that I found. I don't know. Or whether he was just struggling with technology.
Yeah.
I think it was the latter. But no,
that's the trouble when you steal purses and handbags, is you don't normally get it.
Yeah. But news-wise, obviously, did you watch football during the week? Watched the Chelsea game?
I did, yeah, watched Chelsea, very much enjoyed that. I must admit, I never really listened to many of Cole Palmer's interviews, but I thought his interview technique is brilliant, and there's a lot of people online saying he needs to get some media training, and I think I was sitting there saying no, he absolutely doesn't, because he's just got such a good way of dealing with the press. It's very innocent and
nonplussed.
Yeah, the girl that's saying to him, because he got man of the match trophy and he tucked in his shorts, and the girl said, it's an interesting place to keep your trophy, and he sort of looked at it and looked back at it and he said, I've got no pockets, but with a completely straight face, which I just thought was brilliant. Absolutely.
That's innocence, right? I did wonder what that was that he was carrying around. I thought he'd kind of nicked a smaller version of the trophy or something. But,
I think he's man. I think man of the tournament, actually, I think he got.
Oh, right. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, the people that are probably saying he needs media training I would imagine Man United supporters who are just jealous that their team needs training, full stop.
Well, they need media training. Did you see they lost their friendly out in Asia this week?
Yeah.
And they walked off the pitch giving the middle finger to supporters and the media. So I think there's a bit of media training and football training that is required there.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't just possible. They were just clarifying that they lost 1-0. It was definitely the wrong kind of middle finger.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's all right. News-wise, I mean, it's just like a mad world we live in, really, isn't it? With the hokey cokey with Trump, there's a terrorists in, the terrorists are out. Does he like us? Doesn't he? So, the gift that keeps on giving. What about you? It's,
the same on Trump. The Trump situation is, tariffs are. He doesn't have the authority to impose the tariffs according to the 3 highest judges in the US, but then they suspended them, and then that suspension's been suspended. It's just a nightmare. And in the business world, there's big companies just don't know which way to turn because of other products that they're buying and selling going to have tariffs or not. And he's absolutely going to hammer Apple because they don't make their products in the US, so he's hitting them with 1,000% increase or something. So, and the war that he said he'd finish on day one of his presidency, which hasn't realised.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think no one actually believed that, but no, he did make a big thing of it, and sort out Gaza because he's got to build his hotel there yet, but. So potential starting to go wrong. I mean, his mate Elon's left as well. He need to go into space or Mars or whatever he's doing. So that's a bit of a blow for him.
Yeah. So then they launched a rocket. What was Friday? I think it was Wednesday. They launched a rocket and it was a successful launch, but then exploded. And I quite like how they call it an unscheduled disassembly.
Yeah. It's very. Talking to media trainers, it's a very positive spin. It came back safely in several bits rather than.
Yeah, it's almost a success. We always wanted that to happen, but just not today.
Yeah. But what else? No, I mean there was the strange old incident of the French president. I mean that was just bizarre. I mean, if you're going to have a tiff, if indeed it was a tiff, but even if you're playing around, make sure you stop before the door opens to the world's press. It was a bit strange.
It's very bizarre. I'm not too sure what the official line is, but clearly that it hadn't been a good flight for the pair of them. And I think it was in Vietnam, wasn't it? So it was a long flight, and so she slapped him, which I guess goes part way to dispelling the rumour that she is a man, because a man wouldn't have slapped like that. Maybe that's what she was trying to do. She thought, give him a slap to show that I am female.
Yeah, and I didn't realise until they started, as the media do, giving the full backstory, that she's 20 years older than him. And she first met when she was a teacher at his school and he was 15. But it's all over social media with regards to the, is it domestic violence or isn't it? And isn't it funny or isn't it not funny because he's a bloke, but then he's saying it's all horseplay. But
I mean, for any of our listeners that haven't seen it, I'd recommend Googling it and seeing it. And it almost looks like it's set up, but it absolutely isn't. And I think what makes it slightly worse is that he realised that people could see it because the door was open and tried to sort of laugh it off or pretend it was, it was done in jest, but it clearly wasn't.
Yeah. So almost as strange, and obviously keeping a serious note, is the Liverpool parade incident, which I again use the word bizarre as to what's going on there, as to whether he's trying to get away from the marauding throng of people or what. It's very odd, very odd. But
Yeah.
the world we live in.
Yeah. I tend to think if you want to get away from a marauding, how did you say it?
I said throng, but that's probably the wrong word.
Wrong. If you want to get away from them, don't put your foot down and drive through a whole load of them. I mean, part of the charges is a drug related.
It's not.
Sorry?
That's what he got arrested for. But I watched with interest to see that, and there's dangerous driving. There's no mention of driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
That was originally what he'd been arrested for. So maybe they've dropped that.
That's what he got arrested for, and I suspect that was probably to just the arresting officer work on the basis that no one in their right mind's going to do that. So he must be drunk or on drugs, which is fair enough. But
do you think? I mean, he's ex-military. Do you think there's a chance that people, banging on the car and trying to get to him before he roared away? Do you think it caused some sort of PTSD reaction where he's?
Oh, there's a thought. Yeah, could well be, because it's a bit of a betwixt and between, isn't it? It's putting to one side the whole issue as to how he was allowed to drive down there. It wasn't a determined attack to, I know he drove fairly fast, but it wasn't as fast as he could have gone, like that. And there is no attempted murder charge at the end of the day.
No.
That's a valid theory, I think. Yeah.
But also, I mean, he's a relatively local man. Why, on the day of that, there was 750,000 people there. On that day, why would you have driven into town?
Yeah, I suppose if he's not a Liverpool fan, maybe he didn't get the email, possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
Wasn't aware, or thought he'd make a point that, why should my roads be shut off?
I'm amazed that nobody lost their lives, which is ultimately a positive out of something that could have been very dark.
Yeah. And other people can tell it'll all come out in the wash, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can't really blame him for following the ambulance in. Potentially he was just trying to get home, and he thought, I'll just be cheeky and follow the ambulance in to that road, and then realised that road had, thousands of people in it. They started banging on the car, and before you know it, he's maybe been triggered, and off he goes.
Yeah.
But it's very sad. Lots of people injured, and of course he's got a wife and kids at home, and that's apparently his wife discovered it when she watched the news and saw her car being driven into people. I mean, it's just horrendous. But I guess we're just lucky that nobody lost their lives looking at it on the television. It could have been a lot worse.
Back in UK politics, been watching the news this week and noticed that Nigel Farage is making an early bid for the PM, with promising the world. So everyone else now seems to be running scared of him.
Well, I mean, he doesn't necessarily need to aim too high, does he? Certainly not promising the world. I think Kemi's not really offering very much. I think she's possibly the most anonymous leader of the Conservative Party that I've seen over the years, and there's been a few recently, obviously. So I think I don't know, is he taking advantage of an open goal, maybe? Kemi's not stepped up. Keir Starmer's got a lot on his plate. I think he's probably just seizing the moment, and maybe he's got one shot, and this is it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the other one obviously we can't rule out is Ed Davey. He's not. I quite like it when the campaigns are on, because he hasn't been kind of bungee jumping or herding sheep or whatever for a while. But
yeah, I mean, I don't even consider him a politician, really. His campaign trail is just frankly bizarre. It's amazing, but yeah, it's good. It's good for a bit of fun, I guess. we must talk about Keir Starmer and Lord Ali at some point, maybe in another podcast. Maybe we'll check the legalities of that before.
Yeah, maybe we should do that first. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was rather hoping that obviously Nigel is keen to keep in the media spotlight and do things like I'm a Celebrity. I was kind of hoping that he might volunteer and take part in that cheese rolling thing that happened.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that. Why do people do? I appreciate people have been doing it for a very long time, but lots of people get injured. 6 people taken to hospital, and their ambulance is called. I mean, I assume that's all on the NHS. I mean, shouldn't they be paying for St John's Ambulance to be there? You know, it shouldn't be a drain on the NHS that people want to chase cheese down a hill.
Well, yeah, that's the country we live in again, isn't it? It's freedom of cheese chasing if you want to do it, and we get the consequences. The fact that someone else is going to have to pick up the bill and the mess afterwards. Well,
you talking about freedom. I thought that was a tenuous link to Edam or something. I thought you were. So there's more to that. But
no, I could have ended it with, well, if you get hurt, hard cheese, but I didn't.
But you're right. In a country, you know, we should be free to do whatever we want with cheese within reason. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a bizarre tradition, but I guess that's what makes us best country in the world, maybe.
But going on from that, I'll say don't get me started, but you already have. Around the NHS as a whole, as you know, I have fairly close links to that organisation, and we've now over the past few years just got into the kind of the divine right people think they have to get an ambulance to hospital. Now, shoot me down if you want to, but you know, if we look back at why ambulances were, or the ambulance service originally came about, I believe it was because if people needed to go to hospital, generally they would struggle to get there because there weren't that many cars about, and it was generally an emergency as well, and you had to get there quickly. And besides that as well was the fact that there was, you know, enough ambulances to go around, as it were. But nowadays, going back to, as I say, you know, people's right to do whatever they want and sod the consequences, is, you know, they'll do stuff whether it's cheese chasing or whatever it may be, or just hurt themselves, and rather than take the own initiative of going, you know what, obviously I'll wait and see how it goes, or I'll get a lift to the hospital, they ring up an ambulance, clog the system, wait for one to come, and then demand to be taken in said ambulance rather than going in the car. You know, and plus all people just do turn up at A&E under their own steam. You got me going now, by the way. People that do turn up under their own steam, because the excuses I've heard are, well, I've had this problem, which is generally something like a small rash or a broken toenail. I've had it for 4 weeks now, but I thought I'd come in today because there's nothing on telly.
Yeah, I agree, but I think we are, as a nation, I'm sure there are a lot of other countries that are like this as well. There is this entitlement where people feel that, you know, they pay their national insurance, so they, you know, when they need an ambulance, then they should be able to call one. I personally think you should only call an ambulance if it's, you know, a risk to life, not necessarily just to get someone to come out and look at your bunions or something.
No, it's the whole entitlement is the good word, and it's the whole education system. I think, I know I'm old, we're old, and moan about kids and what have you, but it's that same whole thing around, you know, the numpty who walks along and just throws their bottle on the street because, well, I can. That is a bin 10 yards away. You say, oh, I will ring an ambulance because I can. And it's all very I can, and what's it got to do with you, and I will, and it's for me.
Yeah. You talk about someone throwing a bottle. I don't know if you're aware, but just up the road from where I am, we've got somebody that seems to be dumping a bottle or broken glass in the middle of the road. And it's happening in the early hours of the morning. So when you drive on this particular bit of road, and it is a relatively significant road in the in a village that we're in. There's enough broken glass that a few people have had punctures, and they can't get to the bottom of where this glass is coming from, other than clearly somebody's dumping it. It's not an old-fashioned milkman that, there's a bottle falling off his wagon or anything. It's a broken bottle, and it happens every night, pretty much every night. So in the mornings when you go to work, you see the glass there. Somebody's put up and I don't know if I know the police are aware of it. I don't know if the police have done this sort of council, but there is a little solar-powered CCTV camera of some sort that's hidden away. But I've spotted it, so I'm sure this person has. But it's happening regularly enough that I'm just thinking, what is this person thinking, and what kick are they getting out of doing that? It's almost like keying a car or, stabbing someone's tyre to flan it. Why do it? It's just frankly bizarre that there are people that think that that's a funny thing to do, and they can sit back and think of the consequences of, people are getting flat tyres, and that's a funny thing. It's bizarre.
So it's not bad luck and coincidence then. Someone's specifically smashing it in that location, smashing something.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's somebody that has a bottle of, it's glass, so I don't know what they're eating or drinking in the mornings and then chucking it out of their car window. But it's at the same part of the road every single day that it happens, and it's always there in the early hours, so it's there in the mornings. And some residents have gone out and swept it into the side of the road, but sometimes, they haven't, and it's just been left there.
Yeah, well, bizarre and mindless, as we know. This is a grumpy safe space, and it's just annoying. And why people do it, and why, I going back to the flowing stuff, I just can't get my head around people that just wind their window down and throw stuff out,
No.
or just drop the bottle as they're walking along, glass or not, or indeed parking disabled bays when they're not disabled. And before anyone mentions it, I know not all disabilities are visible. However, you should still have a disabled badge, but that's for another time, another mode. What was I going to say? I don't think I've seen you. Since talking of mindless idiots, have I seen you since
that reminds you of me for some reason.
No, not on that occasion. But have I seen you since my daughter was in someone's car in a town not too far from here, and someone threw a brick from a bridge which went through their room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You told me about it, but you've told the listeners. Again, God forbid, that could have killed someone. What on earth is the point of that? Where's the fun in that? Fine, chuck it off a bridge into a river or something. Yeah, big splash, really funny.
Yeah.
But I just don't see how. There's something wrong in people's minds. I think this comes back to your point about not all disabilities are visible. If you are throwing a brick off of a bridge and hitting a car, you've got something wrong with you. You've won a free parking space outside the pub or something, because that's not normal behaviour, and I would recommend you seek some help and get a sunflower lanyard of some sort, because you're going to kill someone.
Yeah, but I'll play devil's advocate for a little while. What if they want to throw a brick off a bridge? Is it any of your business?
Yeah, I think it's all. Isn't that sort of woke response? Let him. He's only having a bit of fun.
But you have got to weigh up as to you don't know how difficult their childhood's been. If it's a child, if it's an adult, then equally they might have grown up in a household that, as far as they were concerned, it was perfectly okay to chuck bricks off of bridges or smash bottles in roads. You got to, I think, take a wider view on this.
And then lock them up.
Yes, and then lock them up. Well, you read my mind there, really, because I was going to say, and obviously I'm being sarcastic around the, or am I being sarcastic around their background? But if the people are caught for crimes and arrested, and the Criminal Protection, the Crown Prosecution Service, they've got the name wrong there, do decide to take them to court, then we've got the slight problem at the moment with prison space. So where do we draw the line on? If that person was caught, for argument's sake, no one gets injured, but the car is smashed, and it's only lucky that the sun roof is smashed, and it's only by luck that no one gets hurt, but the car is damaged and the person's caught. Where does that sit on the line of things? Is it kind of you really should see the errors of your ways, but do some community service of, I don't know, sweeping up glass in roads that people smashed, or should you go to prison for it?
Yeah, I don't think prison's the answer for everything, because there will be there'll be more overcrowding. But, and this is definitely for a future podcast, I think the Isle of Wight or the Isle of Man plays its part in accommodating all of our prisoners, because plenty of room there.
Yeah, good idea. And I get that prison isn't the solution for everything, but equally, while they're in prison, they're not throwing bricks at cars that my daughter's travelling in.
Yeah.
Or smashing glass on the road that you're about to drive down. Swings and roundabouts. Should they get 3 strikes and you're out or not? Are we too soft? When we look at some of the things that happened recently, what people are going to prison for, I don't know. Anyway, we probably digress again. On a brighter front, if we can be bright, did you see a bit about that minute silence by that club?
I did, yeah. And for the listener, it's a Bulgarian football club. Apologies now for my appalling pronunciation, but it's Arda Kajali. Have been forced to apologise after holding a minute's silence for a former player who's still alive, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
How does that happen? A lot of former players for clubs are sort of retained as ambassadors, or at least called in to join lunches, and they have some sort of role with the club. How this club decided that he needed a minute's silence?
Have they got to the bottom yet of how they made such a mistake?
No, and I assume he's not playing for them anymore, so I guess it's an easy mistake to make, or maybe mistraining, and they just assumed he'd had a bad weekend.
Off the phone or something, I don't know, for a while, and a bit worried about him.
Yeah, but maybe a minute's silence straight away is a little bit jumping the gun. Maybe they should have contacted the family or something.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think that if they're going to hold a minute's silence for somebody, they speak to the family and ask if the family wanted to be there, or
you would think, wouldn't you?
Lay some flowers or a wreath or something, and then the family would have mentioned that he's still alive, surely.
I suppose it could have just been an overall mix-up, and they thought they were coming along to kind of pay testament to his performance or something, and it was only, when they appeared in black armbands, and as you say, with the minute silence, that they thought, well, if I say anything now, it'd be a bit awkward.
I'm going to look into it further, because I want to know how it came about. Was he at the ground when this happened? I mean, that would be stunning if he was there.
During the minute silence, a lone voice shouted, "I'm over here."
Yeah, as his picture appears on the television screen with his, with his date of birth and a date of death. I'll look into it and report back, but it's that's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate.
Well, I suppose it would be too much of a coincidence as well that he was one of the people that got wrapped up in the unfortunate Haribo recall as well. Which, have you seen that?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, interesting one, because Haribo have recalled some sweets that were found to contain cannabis, and not only that, but they've caused multiple adults and children to fall ill. I mean, it's worrying, but it occurred to me that how does cannabis get anywhere near a Haribo factory?
Well, answers on a postcard, really. That's an old-fashioned way, or WhatsApp, whatever you want to do, really. Yeah, well, one can only surmise that Yeah, maybe someone's been found on the production line. The one that was really, really happy on the production line that has some things that they shouldn't have. Maybe.
Yeah, well, and it's fallen into the Haribo mixing pot.
Yeah. Slightly concerning. On the WhatsApp front, I just want to mention again, because we're trying to end on a bright point. I'm just going to share the one which I think that you sent to me, because it kind of sums up, I think, what we're standing for, kind of, around the anti-wokeness. I think you sent it to me about the new James Bond film. Was that you?
Doesn't ring a bell.
So again, most of the WhatsApps I get are quite visual in many ways.
Right. This might not work then.
No, but what I try and do is, particularly on this occasion, is just share with the WhatsApp I received that the next James Bond film will be made to satisfy the woke brigade. Bond will start off as a man, he will transgender to a woman, and the film will be called Cock to Pussy, which I thought was quite good. But...
that is good. I think we still need to find a high point to finish the podcast on, but I can't think of anything at the moment, so that might have to be it.
Okay. Well, the one where I've just been helping Cat Stevens fix his caravan. His awning has broken. No, okay. Again, it's maybe not.
Yeah, that won't make it either.
Well, good speaking to you.
Yeah, G, thank you for your musings. Enlightening as ever, and I know we've got lots more to talk about on future pods, so we would encourage everyone to subscribe and join us.
For the weekend? Do you do much for the weekend or not?
No, not too much. I'm just going to dump some broken glass in the road, throw a brick off of a bridge, and go and smoke a vape in a coffee shop.
And find out how this Bulgarian football club managed to mess up quite.
Oh yeah, that's my homework. I will be investigating that. There'll be a thorough investigation.
Good. Look forward to the result of it.
Thank you.
All right, mate. Well, take care and speak soon.
Speak soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, that's it. The first podcast is complete, and you were here to witness history in the making. If we can be bothered, we'll be producing one of these every week. And to help us and avoid us having to do all the work, we would welcome your input. If you have a gripe that really grinds your gears, please share it with us. You can contact us via the website www.grumpy-pod.com or direct on WhatsApp on 07873 207 206. Be warned, if there is the slightest hint of woke or apologetic slant to your message, it will be filtered and end up in the deleted folder. However, if your gripe is suitably amusing and needs our expert opinion and input, we will include it in one of the future podcasts. Thanks for listening and hope you can join us again soon. Bye.